Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Fletcher. As always, I am with Anthony the Hitman Florio and the lovely Dee Dee Woodson, and we got ourselves a very good show for you guys tonight. We got Smackdown Live, which emanated from the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. As a matter of fact, we decided to use the Monday Night Raw set for tonight's show. I don't know why, but they decided, I guess it was going to be a double bill on two nights. So why don't we just use the same setup? Nothing was different from last night's show to this night's show. So, yeah, we borrowed the Raw set for one night and one night only. Raw, don't kill us on that, please. So, whatever the case may be, we got ourselves line up. We're just going to dive right in. It started off with a promo segment by Randy Orton, interrupted by Bray Wyatt, which was a 2-for-1 deal because it also led to the first fight of the night, which was Randy Orton going one-on-one with Luke Harper, and the winner of the bout by disqualification was Randy Orton. And say this. I thought the promo segment was better than the fight itself. I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought Randy was good on the mic. Again, I love the fact that how they incorporated Bray Wyatt and the creepiness and the awesomeness. And, then you got the Luke Harper. They went at it, the nice little exchange between the two. I think the finish was a little bit abrupt. If you can say that, it also gave us a little bit of something that was more different, more unique than usual, and that was that a casket got out, a la The Undertaker, a la Kane, a la some of the great stuff that we've seen way back in the day. And now a casket came out, but before anything could happen going in, boom! Pyro goes off. I jump. I swear to God, I hate this pyro. It explodes. It's Kane. He's back. Where the heck were you, Kane? You went MIA. Nobody saw you for a little bit. Nuts. You went after the Wyatts. So already, you're already seeing the planting of the seeds of a possible, maybe a Survivor Series style fight where you can have Kane in on one side of the team and the Wyatts on the other side of the team. Now, of course, they're going to have to fill the gaps on the remaining members, but if there's a Smackdown only match, this could be the Survivor Series matchup for just Smackdown only. Even though, remember, there is 3 matches already been announced. All the tag teams, one that's going to have 5 of the best from SmackDown versus 5 of the best of Raw male, and then the third is supposed to be an all women's bout, and we'll get into something else later in the night because a certain from the women's division, from the SmackDown women's division, has actually stepped up, and she is the first out of the women run and say, hey, I want to be on the SmackDown women's squad. And quite frankly, she's worthy of being on Team SmackDown a little bit later on tonight. But with that said, fight goes, I'm going to give this about maybe 1.5, 2 stars. I might be a little generous on the rating there, but like I said, I thought the promo segment was better than the match. With that said, let's bring in the host of Ridiculously Raw, Mr. Anthony Florio. So, Hitman, it is all yours, my friend. Talk about the promo and then our opening match of the evening.
All right, thank you very much indeed, MF. Hello, friends. Anthony the Hitman Floyd here with you for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Delighted to have you with us. And, well, what else is there to say? I mean, the program, well, it just lacks steam for me. Wyatt stealing Undertaker's casket gimmick just makes this feud feel even more like they are treading over well-worn ground. And it was basically lots of hocus pocus, mumbo jumbo. I'm kind of over it because it just feels like the same old stuff on a loop. So that's really all I can say on that. So, but yeah, it's really all I can give that. So, now as far as MF's little scenario is concerned, I'll say it like this: I don't think they have enough talent to put together a SmackDown only match because you're going to pretty much be using them all for the tag team and the men's fights. So, I don't see who else could be a part of a supposed traditional Survivor Series match. I mean, it would give us 4, which would be awesome, but I just don't see where they could go. Because you have to imagine they're gonna. But then again, no, I don't think they have enough talent to pull it off. So, but I'll say it like this though: why do I get this sneaking feeling that they might be throwing us a casket match here? I don't know why. Why do I have this feeling we could be seeing a Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt casket match? Or heck, maybe we could have, because, the theme has been making history over the last, little bit here. Maybe, just maybe, they up the ante and possibly make a first ever tag team casket match where we could have 2 caskets at ringside, one for each team member. Randy Orton and Kane against the Wyatts. I don't know. I know I'm probably treading water on that, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But for right now, that segment was just all right for me. That's really all I can say. The match, yeah, Fletch, Matt, you overscored this one. I honestly only gave it 1 star for me. There wasn't much of a match there. It was almost all angled to advance Orton and Kane versus the Wyatts. I appreciate that they followed up on last week, but I just can't get into it. The best thing about it was that Harper didn't lose. So that's really all I can say on that, and that's really all I can say. So possibly a casket match. I think we're looking at a casket match coming up at Survivor Series with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. That's just where I think it's going to go. So with that being said, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, it's all yours.
I definitely agree with the rating of 1 star, and I also agree that the segment was better than the match itself. Although, I agree there's just a lot of same old with this. And yeah, it looks like they're leading to a possible casket match. I do like the idea of the tag team casket match, but it looks as if it's going to go down to Randy and Bray at a casket match at an upcoming event. So not much more I can say about it. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right, guys, and we're going to move right on to the first. I think this was the only women's match of the night, but it was Naomi going one-on-one with Alexa Bliss, and the winner of the bout was Alexa Bliss with the Twisted Bliss 1-2-3 victory. And then, important, guys, and you mark this on your calendar because 3 weeks from tonight, live, well, not live, but it should be live from Glasgow, Scotland. Yeah, we're going to go across the pond on this one, ladies and gentlemen. Becky Lynch is for the WWE SmackDown Women's title. That's right. The fight that we were supposed to get at No Mercy is now going to go down and confirmed in Glasgow, Scotland. It's going down 3 weeks from tonight. Live. A special SmackDown Live from Scotland as Becky Lynch will finally put her title on the line, her first title defense as the SmackDown Women's Champion against the Twisted Bliss herself, Alexa Bliss. So, Anthony, let's talk about the match. Then we'll talk about the brief little segment, and then give me your first thoughts of Bliss versus Lynch. 3 weeks.
As far as the match is concerned, I got to say it was the second best fight of the night. 2 3/4 stars. Pretty good match overall. The middle portion was a bit sluggish, but Bliss heel work was good, and Naomi brought some good fire. Much better match between Bliss and Naomi than No Mercy. I think it bodes well for the division that they were able to bounce back and put together a good match just a few weeks after a clunker. Whether that's because of working together on the road or just a bad night at No Mercy, they worked it out. Now, as far as the upcoming match is concerned, with Becky Lynch going up against Alexa Bliss in Glasgow, Scotland, the home of the late great Hall of Famer Rowdy Roddy Piper, God rest his soul. And, well, I think it can be a very good match here. I mean, we were supposed to get it at No Mercy, but Alexa Bliss suffered an undisclosed injury, which forced her to pull out. And that's why we had Alexa and Naomi, and that match was a mess. But this match was so much better. Now, as far as I can even go as far as to say that was a possible fight of the night contender. But one match I thought was just a smidge better. But getting back to Lynch and Bliss, I think it'll be a very good matchup. It could be the shot in the arm the SmackDown women's division needs, because right now the Raw women's division right now is really shining, especially with the big news today. And believe me, that big news is going to be addressed this Monday night on the next all-new edition of Ridiculously Raw. You can believe that. We are going to address that. And I'm not going to do it here because this is SmackDown Live, and it's not my show. It's MF's show, and I'm not going to do that to him. So I could, but I'm not. So, but I'll be honest with you. I think this can be a very good matchup here, and to do it in Glasgow, Scotland, I mean, you got to believe Becky Lynch is gonna have the little bit of a hometown advantage, because it's right around the Dublin, Ireland, and it's Europe, and that's definitely going to bode well for Becky Lynch. She's going to get a big rub down there, and so all I know is it's going to be a very good match. It should be a great matchup here, and Alexa Bliss continues to impress, and she's getting better, work in progress, and that Twisted Bliss is a great move. There is potential for an upset, but I just think Becky Lynch is going to successfully defend it. That's how I feel. I cannot wait for 3 weeks. Should be a great matchup, like I said, and Becky Lynch is the more tech savvy of the two, while Alexa Bliss is the quicker of the two. Becky Lynch is the more powerful of the two, so I think it should be an even matchup, no question about it. So that's all I know. It's going to be a great match. So as far as this match was concerned with Bliss and Naomi, much better than No Mercy. 2 3/4 of a star is my rating, and my second best fight of the night by a smidge. So let's throw it up now to our resident women's wrestling expert, Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson. So did the ladies impress you tonight, Dee Dee? They did for me.
Yeah, I was very impressed with this match. They did very well. It's interesting to see, what Alexa's going to come out in every so often. I mean, first we had Harley Quinn. Now we had the female Freddy Krueger. So, I mean, that's kind of bizarre. And then, of course, you have Naomi and her all neon stuff going on. But it was a very good fight. I was very impressed with how they handled, even though there was points that was slow, and there was points that you could tell the audience kind of lost interest in it. But in the end, it was a very good win for Alexa. I agree with the rating for the 2 3/4 stars. Was a little confused on the post interview with all the fairy tale crap she was going into. I mean, she kind of twisted about 3 or 4 different fairy tales together. So is she comparing herself to Snow White or to the Wicked Queen? Because she kind of mixed those together, and then she mixed something up, I don't know, some other fairy tale together with it. So I mean, it was just really bizarre interview in the end. But you know, she's promising though that she's going to end the reign for our little Scott, and you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens there in her hometown. You know, I'm not going to be around for the Raw chat, but I will give this much of a tidbit without getting into it. It's about freaking time that they do this particular match, and about freaking time they position it where they're positioning it. So that's about all I'm going to say about that. You all, I know, we'll cover that on Monday. So, Fletch, it's yours.
All right. You know, normally I wouldn't bring this up because, like we said, it is about Monday Night Raw. However, I was the one that broke the news earlier today. So, what is being called, or what is being described, is, and I'm gonna air it out. I don't give a damn. It's my show, but I'm gonna do it anyway. What it is, and what Dee Woodson is alluding to, is that according to Mick Foley's Facebook page, that he had announced that that the main event of the Hell in a Cell in Boston was gonna be Sasha Banks, Charlotte, for the WWE Women's Title, the Raw Women's Title, in Hell in a Cell. So the biggest match in WWE history, the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match, is gonna be what was penciled in as the main event. Now, I hate to do this to you guys, and I hate to pull the rug out from under you, but I went back on Mick Foley's Facebook page around 5 o'clock this afternoon, and he is actually backtracking now from that decision. He is saying that, well, there's also another great match in Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Universal title. So he is saying that he doesn't know right now what the main event is going to be. So, in the moral words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friends. We might not get Sasha Banks versus Charlotte as the main event for the women's title in Hell in a Cell at that event on October 30th. So right now, all you fans out there, I think the best way we got to go with this is see, because right now, at first they were saying this was the main event and it was all in, and now all of a sudden they have thrown it up in the air and they're saying it's not officially etched in stone. So we'll get into that on Monday night. So basically, it's basically, or stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's get right back into the SmackDown show. The next fight was gonna be Kurt Hawkins one-on-one with Apollo Crews. Fight never happened. Basically, Apollo Crews popped Kurt Hawkins in the mouth, and then Hawkins basically runs away up the ramp. Out he goes. So fine, whatever. We don't need to cover that. It was gonna be, I think there was gonna be an exclusion on the show, even though I don't like cutouts on the show. I like to go free flowing and whatnot. Okay. Because this was good. Carmella and Nikki Bella, and oh my, did they go there tonight? Oh my, this was good. A promo segment by the two ladies. Woodson, you like Anthony Foyo has said, and we already know, you are the voice of the women's division. Had to have loved this exchange because it really got personal here tonight. Give me your thoughts about this.
Damn straight it got personal. Oh my Lord. And it's funny because I did watch that Total Bella's show that she took the clips from, and I can see where Carmella's coming from with Nikki being a whiny, little needy girl. And to a point, yes, she is. But at the same time, you have to take Nikki's point in saying, that's a separate entity. What I do on Smackdown, that has nothing to do with my personal life. You have to go by my wins or loses. And basically that's the truth, So yeah, she may be whiny and needy when she's at home, but when it comes to the ring, she's done all this on her own merit or the merit of her sister when they were doing the Twin Magic Get Up crap. But this was a very impressive segment, very good points on both sides from both girls, and hate to say I'm a little excited to see where this goes. I'm not a big fan of either one of them, but still it's enough here to really catch your interest and to really say, hey, you've got some very talented young ladies here that are really ready to just tear it up and tear into each other. So hopefully we'll get to see these two go one-on-one soon, and not just all the smack talk and backstabbing that's happened so far. So compared to what it has been with Carmella doing all the backstabbing attacks, at least now we had a face-to-face. We had a showdown that is newsworthy. Now let's see if we can schedule a match with these two that will be even more newsworthy and hopefully even better than the match we had earlier in the night. So not much more I can say there other than toss it over to Florio.
Yes, indeed. No question about it. It was the segment of the night. I 100% agree. I mean, it was a brave move giving Carmella a top-of-the-hour spot despite the well-timed heel turn. No one has cared about her as she gets next to no reaction when she arrives. But I love that they got the chance to do the big promo segment. Even though I enjoyed it, I felt it was a little bit of a mixed bag. I felt that Carmella's stuff was weak, what was written, because we all know about Nikki Bella and John Cena. It got better, and I think that they did a good job of advancing the feud as Carmella tried to create a false narrative out of jealousy to attack Nikki. They can't do the Dame attacks forever. And making it personal should work as they build to the rumored no disqualification match. It was far from perfect. Carmella still needs work, but showed flashes here that the heel turn will be for the best attitude-wise. But when they were done, I felt that the characters disliked each other. They weren't obsessed with saying they were going to make history like on Raw. They were too busy setting up the fact that they hated each other to set up their big match. So that's the only really constructive criticism I have. But other than that, very good segment, and no question about it. But as far as promo segments go, segment of the night, easily. And that's all I can say about that. And SmackDown Live doing what they do best, unlike that other show, and that is storyline progression. And you saw it in a big way here tonight. So SmackDown Live, congratulations. You did it again. You progressed another storyline. Well done. Now you folks in red, take notes, because that's how you progress a storyline. Am I right, MF, or am I right?
They did really good. I mean, I really loved it how Carmella really, she talked about how it really opened up the eyes of a lot of people, and I thought this was her best work as a heel right now. That she was like, the only reason she's fearless is because she goes home every night to Mr. Hustle, loyalty, and respect. And I'm like, ooh, wait, don't go there. But I love the fact that Nikki always talked about, how she's being bullied, how she's has a lot of haters that she has to deal with, the internet trolls, how she's not, how you should be ashamed of yourself by diminishing her accomplishments. And look, right or wrong, depending on how you feel about Nikki Bella, I know Dee Woodson has said, look, Nikki is not one of her favorites. Granted, we've always had a little bit of a beef with the Bella twins for a number of years because we always thought, they can't wrestle. They're just going off popularity because of the Total Divas or because of the men in their life. And we always said that. But what Nikki has done, I mean, she goes down as the longest running WWE Divas champion in the history of the division when it was there, and she is by far a multi-time champion. She was one of the faces of the women's division, and many people may believe that, at least for this PG era before the Diva Revolution or the Women's Revolution began, Nikki and Brie were the faces of that division at that time. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what about AJ Lee? What about for Paige? What about this? I believe that they were in that same time and everything else. But if you're looking for popularity and to really market themselves as stars, that was really the Bellas. Now, AJ Lee and Paige, they go down as the best pure technical wrestlers that we've ever seen. And I think there's no argument here. But Bellas, to really market their brand, make their brand as big as it is, and, with TV appearances, with some, endorsements from different companies. Then they were the stars of Total Divas. Now they're the stars of Total Bellas. So obviously they've been able to pave the way, not only inside the ring, but outside the ring. They've been able to market that brand, and that's why they are as big as they are. But I love the fact that Carmella went after her, calling her a gold digger, because many fans believe that Nikki is a gold digger. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I've been reading a lot of articles and a lot of dirt sheets from social media, Twitter, Facebook, even people that I'm not gonna mention any names, because there's one in particular, Dee Woodson, you know where I'm going with that, because there's one person that is so adamant dislike for Nikki Bella is very apparent, more than anybody else. And she's conjured up a lot of conspiracy theories that even the relationship between John Cena and Nikki Bella is not real. She's going as far to say, oh, it's all for show, it's all for publicity, it's all for media. They're not genuinely real life in love. Well, that I'm not even going there. That's a story for another day. That's like Access Hollywood, E! Online, Entertainment Tonight, all those entertainment shows. That's for you guys. We're in the business of professional wrestling. We're not here for all that crapola on that other side of the fence. We're not here for any soap opera bullshit. We're here for wrestling, and that's why we're here. So, I mean, as far as storyline goes, this was really good. I loved how they got personal about it, and that's a real bright spot for me than anything else. And like Anthony said, this was storyline progression. This was storyline progression at its finest, and that's one thing that I can definitely root behind and rally behind, I could say as well. All right. The next thing we had was a 6-man tag team fight. Pirate Squad and The Miz against Heath Slater and Rhino, the WWE Smackdown Tag Team Champions, and the WWE Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Dolph Ziggler. The winners of the bout was the Spirit Squad and The Miz, and it was Kenny Dykstra getting the win as he rolled up Heath Slater for the 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to say it by default. This was the fight of the night. By default, this was the fight of the night. And this was actually a really good six-man tag team fight. And normally we don't really praise or go really high on six-man tag, but I thought this was really good. I really loved the ending, though. You know, you got the hot tag by Heath Slater. He goes in, starts going nuts. It looks like we're really picking up a lot of speed on this one. That next thing you know, a Rhino with a core on Mikey, that takes him out. Unfortunately, Slater tries to go for the roll up, gets a little shot by Heath Slater. Then Kenny rolls him up, gets the 1, 2, 3. You know what that means? Spirit Squad just beat the tag team champions. Guys, I think that means that Mikey and Kenny might be your next number one contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championship on SmackDown. I mean, booking 101, that tells you everything you need to know. So I think we definitely got 2 matches in the Survivor Series down the line, because obviously you're going to want to see, they're probably going to do Miz and Ziggler one more time for the belt, but you also are going to have Rhino and Slater, and they might have to put the belts on the line against Mikey and Kenny from the Spirit Squad. But for me, I thought this was fight of the night. I could give this between at least 2.5 to 3 stars. I thought it was a darn good match. Well done by everybody involved. Mario, it's yours.
All right. We need to address some things here. First, I'll give you the match. I'll give you the match. Yes, absolutely. That was the fight of the night. I 100% agree with you, MF. This was the default fight of the night. This was the one I liked a smidge better than the women's match. I'm gonna pull the trigger and give it the solid 3 stars. That was a fun and good tag match. Not much to it other than the basics and a good crowd, but it was just fun. I don't mind the Spirit Squad getting a win to set up a TV title defense. Yeah, I think you heard those words correctly. TV title defense. But it feels as if they lost the plot a bit in regards to the Usos and American Alpha. It's not bad, but feels a bit off. Hopefully they can weave this into the teams having to coexist at Survivor Series and then leading to a TLC match for the Tag Team Championships at the TLC event on December 4. If that is the case, it can work well and make sense. I will say Spirit Squad is working hard and have been fun in their role. So if they get a deal, good for them. That's really all I can say on that. Solid 3 stars, fight of the night. Now, as far as those things I need to address, with all due respect, MF, I really don't see. I mean, I could definitely. I mean, I think a Miz and Ziggler match down the road, definitely. But remember, when it comes to that Raw versus SmackDown Live 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination match with the men, they said the best men of the show. I think they might put Ziggler and Miz on that team. I ultimately see that team being Ziggler, Miz, Ambrose, Cena, Styles. Those are my 5 for SmackDown Live. And I really don't see a Ziggler and Miz Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match at the Survivor Series. I really don't. But we'll have to wait and see how they progress it. We'll see. But I just don't see that happening. Same with that tag title match with Slater and Rhino against the Spirit Squad. It's not happening at Survivor Series because remember, we got that big tag team elimination match at Survivor Series, and you know Slater and Rhino are going to be on the SmackDown Live team, along with the Usos, along with American Alphas. And I think the Hype Bros will be in there, and a toss-up between either the Vaudevillains or the Ascension. And that's who's going to round out that SmackDown Live team. So with all due respect, MF, no to either one of those matches going down at Survivor Series, because I think Ziggler and Miz are going to be on the SmackDown Live men's team for that 5-on-5 match against Team Raw, and of course the tag teams. You already know that story. So I gotta correct you on that as far as I see it. So of course, like I always do, I'm just being the man who tells it like it is. So I had to get that off my chest. But other than that, though, I do agree with you on the match sense, 100%. That was the fight of the night. Solid 3 stars. I already spoke my piece about it. So Didi Woodson, on to you.
I agree. Match of the night, 3 stars. Well fought match for what it was worth. A little surprising, how it came out in the end with, Kenny being the one to pick up the pin. But of course, you also had Maurice out there causing distractions. You also had, the cheap shots even after the win was over. It was just a bunch of same-o for as far as how the Miz goes, but it was a good match. For what Anthony and Mike just brought up, more than likely those will happen either at a later pay-per-view or on a TV title or TV airing, because more than likely, Survivor Series is going to be wrapped around mainly the Survivor Series matches and not so much, personal grudges and stuff. So we'll definitely have to see how this plays out. So that's about all I have to say about that. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right, guys, and normally I would never do this, but I feel like it's best that we do. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this fight out. It was Jack Swagger versus Baron Corbin. Basically, Baron Corbin wins the match virtually in no time, maybe a minute or two. I know this was probably going to be a dud, worst fight of the night by all standards. So I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna respectfully, I'm gonna show the respect for Florio and for Didi Woodson, and I'm not gonna bring this one up. However, see what happens there in the very near future. And now things got really interesting. It's the main event of the evening. It's the fight that really nobody ever thought we would ever see. But when I made this announcement, this official announcement, 1 week ago, right here on the show, it caused a whole bunch of uproar in the house. Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock could not believe their ears. Didi Woodson, I don't believe you were here last week, but here it is, guys. For the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, it was A.J Styles going up against, well, I'm going to say it, the man that has become an IWC darling, and definitely, and actually, as a matter of fact, he now has his own shirt. That's right, guys. You can actually purchase this guy's shirt tonight, right now, on WWEshop.com for the very low price of $24.95. James Ellsworth. All right. There's nothing more to say. The winner of the bout by disqualification is James Ellsworth. Basically, Dean Ambrose was doing virtually everything. He was the ring announcer. He was the timekeeper. He got into AJ Styles' head, and that caused a disqualification. Basically, AJ Styles assaulted Ellsworth in the corner, basically refusing to break at the count of 5. The referee had no choice but to call for the bell, and as a result, James Ellsworth wins the match by disqualification. However, as you know, and not change hands on a DQ or a count out. Therefore, AJ Styles is still your WWE World Heavyweight Champion. With all that said, with everything included, I believe Anthony Florio,
Yes.
you get to lead off on the main event of the evening. So, my friend, it is all yours.
Well, at least Armageddon doesn't come tonight. Thank goodness for that, because if James Ellsworth had, so help us God, if James Ellsworth had won the title tonight, Armageddon would have come here tonight. But thankfully not the case. Ellsworth wins by DQ. 2 stars, I'll give it. I wasn't a big fan of the angle last week, but felt that they could do something this week to play off of it. AJ was good here. He was great in getting the one great near fall, but it went too long for me. Where I felt it failed was with Ambrose. If you're a big Ambrose fan, even though I am an Ambrose fan, more so for his Shield work, but MF loves this Dean Ambrose, his current Dean Ambrose gimmick. If you're a big Ambrose fan, you likely love this, but it was too much of the Dean Ambrose comedy hour for my liking. I fully get that the story is that he is trying to frustrate AJ and get under his skin, and that he forced the DQ. I just am not a big fan of how it comes off and how it makes Styles look as the champion. They would never do this to a Cena, an Orton, or a Reigns. So I don't see why you would do it with AJ Styles. They've officially run right up against the expiration date of this angle. The super kick spot was great. Don't get me wrong. That was awesome. I enjoyed that, especially the commentary. It was great. And it really shows you how valuable surprise is in professional wrestling. But I'm not sure how effective it's been at making either Ambrose or Styles feel important or impressive. They need to get back to basics next week. As odd as it sounds, AJ Styles not only needs a win, he needs an impressive one, and a decisive one at that. So that's really all I can say about it. I don't know why, but I get this feeling since Ellsworth won by disqualification, normally when a challenger wins via like a disqualification or a count out in a championship match, he or she is almost guaranteed an automatic rematch. So why do I get this feeling next week on SmackDown Live in Green Bay, Ellsworth's going to get yet another title shot? That's just how I feel about it. Although I've heard nothing official about that unless MF knows something I don't. So that's really all I can say on that. So I'll give it 2 stars for the effort. So they need to get back to the basics next week. That's all I can say. So Didi, what's in your thoughts on this main event?
Oh boy. Yeah, it was definitely a comical main event, thanks to Ambrose. And, I agree with the rating. It was 2 stars. The fans really seem to have gotten into the match, though. They chanted Ellsworth and "Let's go Ellsworth," AJ Styles, the holy shit one, and they even chanted "Soccer Mom," which of course we know Cena started that one a while back, and here Ambrose brought it back. Although this was a bit of comedy on the part of Ambrose to AJ, he did bring up a few Cena references in there. So, there was a couple of shots towards Cena, but not directly. It was one of those, matches that, it was okay, but not something to write home about, but still, he did get into AJ's head. I think that's the first time in wrestling I've ever heard anybody announce over the PA system about a car with the lights on. I mean, it was a very bizarre match, if you can really call it a match. But yes, I've seen the shirts on WWE Smackdown. So yes, that is, like Fletch said, that is a real item, and you can thank Ambrose for it. So as far as having another match down the line, we'll see. But like was said in an earlier interview by Ellsworth, at least he has something now to tell his grandkids that he actually faced the WWE champion and in A.J Styles and had the backing of the lunatic fringe. So that's about all I'm going to say about it. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right, Anthony, I just wanted to get you something. This just came down just a few minutes, a short while ago, during the Talking Smack, which is the WWE's version of this show. Basically, what I can confirm right now, next week from Green Bay, Wisconsin, it's going to be Dean Ambrose one-on-one with AJ Styles. Now, if Ambrose wins this match, he will get a shot at the WWE title sometime down the line. Now, they did not say Survivor Series because, like you said, Anthony, he's probably going. These two guys will most likely be a part of that match. But I could see this 3 weeks from now in Glasgow, Scotland. I could see Ambrose Styles for the belt in Scotland in 3 weeks. Now, that might be plausible. That actually might be doable, to say the very least. So, or they could hold it off till TLC in December, but I don't think that will happen, but who knows. Now, AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose next week, live from Green Bay, Wisconsin. That will be your main event of the evening. So with that said, we're going to get right into our overall reviews. And Dee Dee Woodson, you get to lead off.
Okay, well, this was a very interesting show, to say the least, and of course with the two dud enhancement matches and the nice little soap opera bits that we had in here and your little comedy hour at the end, it was, it felt like watching maybe NBC comedy night, I'm sure you all remember, they had one night that was nothing but comedy after comedy after comedy on NBC or something like that. That's kind of what it felt like to me, with the way this was set up, because you had moments that were just, go away moments. Then you had moments that were story building moments, and then you had you ended it with total chaos. And so it's just one of those shows that you don't want to write home about it, but you don't necessarily want to tell it to go away either, because of the fact that it did lead into some nice lead-ins to the upcoming pay-per-view here in the next month. So for me, I'm going to probably give it about a 7.5, only because of some of the low points that was in there, and the main event that was just something that it was just totally bizarre. It reminded me of the one show where all the wrestlers walked out and all you had for like the first match was Cena and Punk and Triple H. I can't remember who all was there on that one, but that one Raw. So I mean, that's kind of what the main event felt like to me. So it was just really a bizarre show, and there's not much more I can say on it other than, it's just, to me, about 7.5 stars. So I'm going to toss it over to Fletch.
Well,
Also, I'm going to say goodnight.
Oh yeah. Actually, I believe I go next, and I have to slightly disagree with Yuji Woodson's rating. 6 out of 10 is my rating for the show this week. SmackDown was an average show this week, with the Orton Wyatt feud and the Ambrose Styles feuds really missing the mark with me in terms of execution and personal enjoyment. Despite that, however, SmackDown is still doing great things and making the most of their time and the roster that they have. So, but yeah, that's a big announcement for next week that you plugged, MF. I mean, Dean Ambrose and A.J Styles, non-title match, obviously, next Tuesday night in Green Bay. And if Ambrose wins, he gets the title shot down the line. And I could see it being November the 8th in Glasgow, Scotland. Why not? I mean, couple that with the Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss women's title match. You got one hell of a night come November 8th in Glasgow, Scotland. Way to make that show feel important. So, boy, what I would give for Monday Night Raw to, do things like this on a weekly basis. Too bad they can't. So, because they got their heads stuck so far up there, what. So, that's really all I can say on that. So, 6 out of 10 for me. But I got to be honest, it was far and away a better show than that crap fest we saw on Monday Night Raw, despite that epic moment with Bill Goldberg coming back. So that's all I can say on that. So 6 out of 10 for me. So MF, your overall review, and then your Mikey's mindset.
I'm going to slightly meet you guys right in the middle. Didi gave it about 7 to 7.5. I think that was too high. Anthony gives it a 6 out of 10. I think that's too low. I'm going to give it 6.5. I thought this was a 6.5 type show. I thought this was very good. Yes, I do agree with you guys that there was a lot of missed opportunities, missed moments, to say the very least. But again, the fight of the night was the 6-man tag team fight. The women's match between Naomi and Alexa Bliss was better than expected. And I also liked the WWE World Title fight. I think everybody did really good in there where they were. Of course, the Orton and Harper was left to be desired. The Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger, by far worst fight of the night. And then with Kurt Hawkins and Apollo Crews, it just never got off the ground. But I will say this. It's over for Kurt Hawkins. I mean, all right, I get it. I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to give him that street cred, but come on, guys, that's gimmick infringement. Doesn't Eva Marie have that voiceover epicness, and she's supposed to have that epic walkout in the whole 9 yards? Come on, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really too fond of Kurt Hawkins, except I know a YouTuber. His name is Grim, who I follow. He's probably gonna be saltier than a pretzel here tonight. He does not like Kurt Hawkins, and as a matter of fact, him and Hawkins actually had a nice little rivalry. It's from GTS. It's what they call the Grim Toy Show. So if you ever want to see something like that, for good wrestling, funny wrestling stuff, and actually some really good wrestling action figures. They do some really good reviews about wrestling action figures. Go to Grimm's Toy Show. Yes, I'm plugging him because he deserves it. He's a really cool guy, and I think he's really cool. So I like him. So nothing more to say about that. 6.5 out of 10 is my rating for tonight's show. Yes, you know what that means. It's time for the Mikey's Mindset. So we're gonna start it with of the night, which was a tag team fight. It was Dr. Wagner Jr. and Famous B, and they went up against the Son of Havoc and Mascarita Sagrada. The winners of the bout in 5 minutes and 25 seconds was Dr. Wagner Jr. and Famous B. Good fight. I'm gonna give this about 2.5 stars was my fight for this match. I really thought it was really good. I loved how everything came in this situation. It was a very solid match. Nothing bad to say. This was definitely a entertaining match, to say the very least. For me, I really liked how everything came out of this, and it came down to some very exciting wrestling action. Nice little fight. I wish the fight could have gone a little longer, but I'm not going to complain too much about that. All right, the next fight of the night for the Gift of the Gods Championship. The champion, the Sexy Star, puts the title on the line against Jack Evans, the winner of the bout, at 9 minutes and 17 seconds, and still the Gift of the Gods champion, Sexy Star. My word is what I'm going to say. 3-star fight. This was the second best fight of the night, but my God, what a match this was. Back and forth, and I'm going to tell you, Sexy Star looked so good in this match. Jack Evans looked amazing in this battle as well. Nothing bad to say either way. This was solid. This was amazing. They brought everything to the forefront here tonight. Nothing bad to say about it. We're going to go right into the main event of the evening. Pentagon Dark versus Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero in a triple threat match. The winner of the bout in 8 minutes and 50 seconds, Pentagon Dark, fight of the night, 4 stars, unfreaking believable main event of the evening. This was a wow factor more than anything else. It was exciting, it was thrilling, it was hard hitting, it was, the chain wrestling was amazing. Dark gets a huge win. He that propels him up the ladder in the company. And I wish I could. There's so many good things I could say about this fight, and there's not so much time I can do it in, but I'm gonna leave it at that. My overall rating, 7 to 7.5 out of 10 is my rating for this fight, for the event. I thought this was really good, so solid. Nothing bad to say about anything. My fight of the night was the triple threat match. The second best fight of the night in this 3-fight card was the Gift of the Gods title, which made Dr. Wagner Jr. and Famous B, Son of Havoc, and Mascarita Sagrada as the worst fight of the night, just because of time restraints more than anything else. All right, so Ring of Honor on Comet. They were in Brooklyn, New York, and the first fight of the night we had was Sabata, the New Japan Pro Wrestling never open weight champion. He went one-on-one with Kyle O'Reilly, and the winner of the bout in 17 minutes and 30 seconds by submission was Kyle O'Reilly. 3.5 stars. Holy crap, what a match this was. This, I'm telling you guys, down as one of the best fights I've seen for Ring of Honor in a long time. It was that good. Hard hitting. The action was fast paced. It had its moments where it had to slow down, then it picked up, then kept going. This was a thrilling matchup, beginning to end. I had nothing bad to say about it. This was without a doubt one of the best matches I've seen. With 17 minutes, you're like, oh my God, Mike, why didn't it get any higher? The commercial actually brought the fight down. There was 2 commercials in this match that really hurted the fight. If there was only just one commercial, if this would have gone straight through 17 minutes and 30 seconds, if it would have gone straight through with no interruption, this could have been 4.5. I could even go 5 with this, but because the commercials came in at really the worst possible points of the fight, because it was really getting up there, and then the commercial brought it right down. And I'm like, oh, why are you doing this to me? But it is what it is. So now the next fight of the night, or the other fight that they had on this card for the Ring of Honor world title. Yes, a world title match. A fatal four-way. It was Adam Cole versus Naito versus Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jay Lethal, the winner of the bout in 18 minutes. And still, Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Adam Cole. Again, the commercials ruined this fight for me. This was only, for me, a 3-star fight. Again, commercials ruined this match because of the placement of the commercials, and at the point when it happened, this was absolutely phenomenal. Another great match, which would have been in any other time. This would have been another 4.5 to 5-star classic. But again, the commercials cut into this fight. It took the life out of the event. Again, really disappointed with the placement of the commercials, but the fights were amazing. My overall rating for this show is 8.5 out of 10. The matches were amazing. This could have been a perfect 10 show, but the commercials and the placement of the commercials brought the life out of this show, and it was a damn shame, guys, because this would have been probably one of the best Ring of Honor shows, that TV shows we would have had in a long time. But unfortunately, it is what it is. There's nothing more to say about that. So, all right, now the big announcement. As I said not too long ago, that there was going to be a big announcement, and it had to pertain the RWA. Now, a lot of people may know that RWA, there was supposed to be an event coming up not too long ago, and unfortunately, the show was called off. Basically, some things went down that was beyond our control, and RWA was taken out. Basically, we didn't know the future of what the Renegade Wrestling Alliance was going to look like. We didn't know if the show was going to continue, if it was going to happen. We didn't know what was going down. Well, now we know. The RWA is back for one night only, Saturday night, November 19th. Starts at 7 o'clock, and it's going to be at the American Safety Program and Training Facility in North Providence, Rhode Island. It is the Thanksgiving Throwdown. Now, on that night, this is their version of the Royal Rumble. That's right, a Royal Rumble event is going down. The Triple Crown Championship, the Hype title, and the Tag Team titles will most likely be on the line. However, no matches have been announced except for one, the 2016 Thanksgiving Throwdown match. That's right, Royal Rumble event. Allow me to explain the rules. It is like the Royal Rumble. 2 men enter. Every 90 seconds thereafter, another competitor will enter the ring. According to the number they drew, it will be 30 participants. The winner of the Throwdown fight will receive an RWA Triple Crown Championship fight status, which would normally be February 2017, but because we don't know the future of the RWA and what's going to happen down the line, this Throwdown match is even bigger than ever before, because there could be a possibility that not only does the winner of the throwdown fight gets the opportunity, he might possibly have an opportunity to fight later that night for the belt. We don't know for sure, but that is one thing we need to address. The second thing that needs to be addressed, and this is going to be fun. Okay, just announced tonight, and I can now confirm this as well. There's going to be a 8-man tag team Survivor Series elimination match that will be held at the Thanksgiving Throwdown with wrinkle. Here's that wrinkle. It is going to be selected by you, the people. That's right. The RWA will announce 2 participants from the RWA fan base. Now, that could be me. That could be anybody. Any RWA fan could be selected. And what we would do is going to be like fantasy football. There will be 8 names that will be put on a board, and you get to select your 4 participants. You get to choose the 4 players you're going to have on your team. The other super fan of the Renegade Wrestling Alliance will get to pick 4 for their team, and they will go head up Survivor Series rules. So, with that said, tickets will go on sale on this Friday. Tickets will go on sale at rwawrestling.net. And I don't know the prices just yet. I'm thinking it'll be $10 for general admission, $15 for VIP. And you know what? Normally, I've always thrown the gauntlet here. In the past, there's no excuses. I want Anthony Florio, I want Michael Bullock, and I want Derek Ferreira to be a part of this event, because this might be the last time RWA might ever be in existence. I don't think so, but they're making it sound like this could be the end. One thing's for sure, if they're going to go out in a blaze of glory like this, you gentlemen to be there. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to that show, to be in North Providence that night to witness this epic event. Florio, you are a big diehard fan of the Survivor Series, and I know you love Royal Rumbles. This is the event to go to, no doubt about it. So with that said, that is it. We're putting a bow on this show tonight, and I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there who makes this show amazing. Please like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share it with everybody on social media around the world. On Thursday night, it's College Football Thursday. It's Anthony Florio is hosting. We got a big week in college football, the Power Poll. Of course, NFL football, NFL Fridays. We're going to cover the Thursday night game, or recap the Thursday night game, get you set up for all the action, including a game in jolly old England. There's a big game in England going down this week as well. And then on top of that, we also have a lot of great games in the NFL, including one Steelers and Patriots. We're gonna go all out for that one, even though we did get some bad news. Ben Roethlisberger is injured. He will not play in that game, but we'll cover that, of course, for the weekend. And then Monday night, Ridiculously Raw. Come back here 1 week from tonight on this very channel, Brains Fan 95. We're doing another brand new edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, and we are going to continue on the road to the Survivor Series and the ACC of the Air Canada Center. Green Bay, Wisconsin. One match I can now confirm. A.J Styles versus Dean Ambrose one-on-one. The winner of that, if Ambrose wins, he will get a future shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. To say, folks. So until then, for Anthony Florio, for Didi Woodson, in spirit, Michael Bullock, and Derek Ferreira, I want to say thank you so much for watching this. And until we see you guys again, for now, have a good night. And we will see you guys on Thursday night. Bye-bye for now.